Mark's Adventures. Today we are going to be canning potatoes. I'm going to be doing a quick video today just showing you how to can white potatoes. First, you just want to make sure you rinse them before you peel them. This makes the peeling process a little bit easier. And then I just peel my potatoes with my carrot shredder. It just seems to go a little bit faster than using a knife to cut off all the skin. And today I'm going to be doing about 7 pounds of potato. And then just rinse all of your potatoes off so you get all the dirt and stuff off of them. All right, and now you just want to start dicing your potatoes into 1/2 to 1 inch cubes is what I do. Actually can leave your potatoes whole if you want to. I choose to dice mine up, and then you only have to boil them for 2 minutes prior to putting them in the canning jars rather than 10 minutes. Alright guys, so there we have it. Approximately 7 pounds of diced potatoes. I'm going to get those boiling for about 2 minutes prior to putting them in the jars. I'm going to go get my jars steaming and get those warmed up so we're ready to go when the potatoes are done. Alright, so the potatoes have been boiling for 2 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and strain those and rinse them off. You just want to rinse off the starchy water, and then we're going to actually add new boiling water to the jars. Okay, now we're going to just start filling up our jars to the 1 inch headspace. And today I'm using pint size jars. I usually use the quart size just because it fits so much more, but the pint is what I had today. Like we filled 9 pint-sized jars. Now I'm going to add a 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of canning salt to each jar. The salt is optional too. You don't have to add salt to your jars. And now we're going to add that boiling water up to the 1 inch headspace. you'll want to go around each jar. You can use a butter knife or whatever type of tool you have. Okay, now that you got all the air bubbles out, you want to take your vinegar and put it on a paper towel and just wipe all your rims off so you don't have any residue, any salt or anything left on there. And now you're ready to start putting your lids on. And now your rings, and you just want to go fingertip tight. I always say go till it's tight, and then till it's fingertip tight, and then a tad further. All right, now we're ready to start loading up the canner. Okay, so you want about 2 inches of water on the bottom of your canner, and then I always do a little dab of vinegar. Just helps your jars to come out clean and not have any of that white ring around them when they're done. And since I have a total of 9 jars, I'm going to do 5 on the bottom, and then I'll do 4 on the top rack. That way I don't have any cans touching at all or any jars touching at all. Okay, and then once you have your seal washed and put back on your cover, you can go ahead and put that cover on your canner. And then we'll crank it up to high. And now we just wait for it to start steaming and for your top to pop up. Alright, so our top has popped up. Now we'll let that steam go for about 10 minutes before we put the pressure gauge on. Okay, so we do have our pressure gauge on, and we're going to just keep slowly turning that burner down as it goes up. I leave it on high until it gets to 5, and then I just slowly start turning it down until we get to 12 pounds of pressure, and that is for my elevation. So be sure that you check out what your elevation is. Once we get up to 12 pounds of pressure, we are going to set our timer for 35 minutes since I'm using pint-sized jars. If you're using quarts, then you want to go for 40 minutes. So either way, it's 35 minutes for pints, 40 for quarts, but you do need to check your elevation and make sure that you are on the correct pounds of pressure. A great site for you guys to use to check your what your elevation should be is right on the National Center for Home Food Preservation. There's a link right on there, and that's the only site that I use for canning. Okay, so we are up to 12 pounds of pressure, so we are going to go ahead and set our timer for 35 minutes. And then we just want to make sure that we keep an eye on this and make sure that it doesn't start creeping up or the opposite and start going down. Alrighty, so we are all done now. We are going to go ahead and shut the burner off, And we are just going to leave this sit until it gets to 0 pounds of pressure before we do anything else. Once we get to the 0 pounds of pressure, then we can go ahead and take our weighted gauge off. But this top does need to be popped back down as well before we can take that weighted gauge off.